With the 2021 NFL season more than halfway through, it looks like the Green Bay Packers are quickly becoming the team to watch. That being said, the Aaron Rodgers vaccination controversy has fans of the green and gold worried, as it might spell the end of the Packers' domination. What do we know about this controversy, though? And which other NFL headlines should fans be aware of? For all this and more, stay tuned. 1. Aaron Rodgers is still making waves. First up, let's deal with a controversy that has all football fans in a tizzy at the moment. We are, of course, referring to the strange incident in which Aaron Rodgers promised the league that he was vaccinated, but then ended up contacting COVID-19 and missing out on the action. Unsurprisingly enough, this caused the media to do some research into what he had said in the first place, and as it turns out, he had never actually admitted to being fully vaccinated in the first place. You see, when he was asked about his vaccination status, he responded with the use of some rather broad words. Rather than referring to the fact that he had been jabbed with the vaccination, he went on to describe himself as being immunized. In other words, he never lied about being vaccinated. He simply said something that caused the reporters to assume that he had taken the jab. The truth of the situation is that the immune status of Rodgers was the result of him taking his treatment into his own hands. In fact, he had immunized himself by adhering to a strict homeopathic method first discussed by the likes of Joe Rogan. As a result of all this, the Packers have been fined approximately $300,000 after review of their poor COVID-19 protocols. But fans will be happy to hear that Rodgers is back in action now, despite his refusal to get jabbed anytime soon. Is Rodgers still under fire following his latest public appearance? Unfortunately for supporters of Rodgers, though, this wasn't the end of the story. After being slapped with another fine of around $15,000 for refusing to adhere to the league's mask-wearing protocol, Rodgers decided to defend himself from critics by appearing on the Pat McAfee Show. And wouldn't you know it, it didn't take long for the quarterback to put his foot in his mouth one last time. After describing the controversy as something that had been worsened by the woke mob of America, Rodgers decided to take aim at the NFL. Without skipping a beat, he mentioned how the COVID-19 regulations currently in play were not based on tested scientific principles, such as shouldn't be used to punish him for living free. He also mentioned how his own immunization method was based on science. Better yet, science that has been tested for a lot longer than the various vaccination jabs that people have come to trust over the last few months. Rodgers also defended his decision to not get vaccinated, stating how he had concerns that the vaccine would end up affecting his fertility. Last but not least, the unvax legend went on to compare himself to the likes of Martin Luther King, stating that he shouldn't be blamed for having an opinion different from the sheep of the world. Not exactly the best way to save face after the public outcry for his banishment from the league. 2. Tom Brady speaks out after impressive win. Not all quarterbacks are under fire at the moment, though. Tom Brady, for example, is on the road to improvement. In fact, he just recently brought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to an impressive win against the New York Giants, and there's no doubt that his precision passing and swiftness in the pocket had a lot to do with this 30-10 victory. This is great news for Brady, considering how his last two games ranked among the worst in his history. For those of you who don't know, the Buccaneers came off these back-to-back losses due to Brady throwing some poor passes that were essentially intercepted for massive gains. But after this performance that had everyone saying he's back in form, Brady showed up to the post-game interview with a huge smile on his face. He went on to say that he's happy with the way his team played and that it's better for all of us when we play better. According to him, the game against the Giants was pretty much set with that opening move. The game plan was to attack New York hard and grab some points early, which is exactly what the team did, as Brady led them on a 73-yard drive to secure a touchdown. But by far the highlight of the game was Brady's own 11-yard touchdown run, in which he hurdled over a defender. Suffice to say, Tom Brady's back, and fans couldn't be much more excited. 3. The Bears have a changing quarterback for Week 12. Things aren't looking too great for Chicago Bears rookie Justin Fields, though, who picked up a bit of an injury when playing against the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday. This injury, which has been reported to be nothing worse than a pair of bruised ribs, had Fields leaving the huddle and being replaced by veteran quarterback Andy Dalton, who hadn't played since Week 5 of the season. And unfortunately for Fields, bruised ribs are no joke, with the injury undoubtedly affecting the accuracy of his throws. As such, Dalton's expected to start on Thursday in the game against the Detroit Lions. This should be great news for the Bears, though, who are coming off a 5 consecutive game losing streak and need some sort of change to make sure that things don't spiral downhill. And since Dalton's a veteran of the game, there's no doubt he has the skill to guide the Bears to where they need to be. Whether he will do so, we have no idea, but we prefer to see the glass as one that's half full. The Lions are the only winless team in the NFL this season, so if there's ever a time to step up and change the Bears' trajectory, it's now. That being said, we hope that Fields recovers soon so he can come back to a Chicago team in winning form. Maybe then the young quarterback will shine and make a name for himself in the league. 4. The Giants might need to step up and end the Daniel Jones era. As of right now, the New York Giants are nowhere nowhere near to where they used to be. In the last 2 seasons, they have achieved a record low of 9-17, and according to critics, this has a lot to do with the management of the team. The overwhelming consensus at the moment is that general manager Dave Gettleman and head coach Joe Judge are to blame for a static team that takes no chances. And since quarterback Daniel Jones is very much in the driver's seat of the Giants, it goes without saying that he's also received his fair share of criticism. Winning obviously isn't everything, especially when a team is learning from the losses they are facing. But when it comes to the Giants, experts haven't been able to see any progress. And it goes without saying, but this has made fans of the team quite angry. Take one look at social media, and you'll see just how many members of the public are calling for change, knowing full well that the Giants need to do something drastic to return to their heyday. And if ownership refuses to make any of these changes, there's no doubt that the Giants will continue to spiral downwards in the seasons to come. A completely new team buildup will be hard to palate, but experts are saying it is the only thing that could save New York from certain death and possible dissolution. 5. Should Justin Herbert be commended for the Chargers' progress? The Los Angeles Chargers decided to build themselves up around quarterback Justin Herbert, for example, which has been paying dividends since the young man took the helm. In fact, the brilliance of the decision came up in headlines a few days ago, with experts saying that Herbert's on the precipice of the league's elite quarterbacks. And this is essentially true. When Brandon Staley became head coach of the Chargers, he saw an opportunity in the reigning NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Rather than keeping things stale like the Giants, the decision was made to allow Herbert the freedom to create and select plays that best suited his style. This not only resulted in him becoming one of the best quarterbacks of the season, but has caused the Los Angeles Chargers to turn around as a team and win some pretty big games. But the season isn't over, and critics are expecting to see a lot more of Herbert in the days to come. It's a classic example of how successful a rebuild can be, and we hope the Giants are paying attention, as they desperately need the same treatment. And there you have it, some of the biggest headlines and opinions surrounding the NFL at the moment. What do you think of the Aaron Rodgers controversy, though? And which team do you think will win it all this time? Be sure to let us know in the comments section down below.